With every passing moment, the jailer's power grows. The flow of anima into the maw
Be on your
must
guard,
be stopped.
mortals. Nathria has the advantage here. He will use all his guile to thwart us.
So welcome to LFR Nathria Wing 3. We finally get to see a bit of RP that I've been missing out on. So this is the beginning of the raid where you have this one dredger named Mudlump who's like, attacks us or we can attack him, and he's like, "Master, intruders have arrived!" And there's Nathria to welcome us.
Welcome! I have so been looking forward to your arrival. Let's see, who have we here? Our wayward prince, of course. The deposed accuser, ever so earnest. And our mutinous former general. Along with a contingent of mortal rabble eager to meet their end.
We tire of your preening, Nathria. Come and face us!
I seem to recall a similar bluster from you not so long ago, Renethal. And we both know how that ended. It seems you failed to learn your lesson. Perhaps I was too lenient. I am, after all, known for my compassionate nature. Let us begin your atonement with a suitable challenge, shall we?
They don't know ads are about to fall on their heads right there. I was like, ads are about to spawn right there. But of course, I'm probably playing with some people here that have never been in this raid before. But yeah, this is technically the beginning of the raid, even though it's in Wing 3. It's interesting how they broke this up in LFR. Because in this wing, we are going to be facing Shriekwing, the first boss of the raid. Then we're going to be facing Sludgefist. And then the Stone Legion Generals. So yes, that big bat right there is the first boss we're facing, Shriekwing. Tasked with guarding Castle Nathria's entry hall, the blind monster Shriekwing locates her victims with horrifying cries that reverberate off the chamber's walls. The last sound heard by trespassers in the Grand Walk is the monster's cry as she descends upon her prey. So yeah, this boss is kind of mocked in communities as being a pretty easy boss, and if you wipe on this boss, well, it's your own fault. Gonna grab my Warlock rocks. Oh, I'm sorry, cookies! Cookies! Grab the mage food. There we go. Alright, so Shriekwing. This fight is relatively simple. There's a couple of phases here. The first phase, we're going to be fighting him. Hopefully the tanks know what to do in terms of positioning.
Charge!
Oh, that's right, we don't do countdowns. Oh, blind swipe, get out of the way. There we go. So yeah, you'll also notice pools of blood on the outside. There's a mechanic called echolocation, where he's going to, or I'm sorry, she is going to hit you with a kind of an interesting targeted AoE. Also coming up as a mechanic where we're going to have to make sure we avoid line of sight. Here we go. You get behind a pillar. Because if you don't, more blood spreads on the floor there. Which hurts. I would imagine some people here also don't have certain add-ons running to help them know, oh, I have to avoid line of sight. Now, fortunately, my anti-magic shell should be able to actually help me against all the sanguine that's on the floor right now. And that's going to be important for when we have the second phase. Now, I wonder how many people are going to try and attack Shriekwing during that phase and just get insta-killed.
Find shelter.
So here comes the second phase. Goes to the middle, absorbs the blood on the floor, and creates a shield called Blood Shroud. If you enter this area, you are instantly killed. And now Shriekwing sends these out. You have to avoid getting hit by these, because if you do, well, it's going to do damage and leave more blood on the floor. You also have to avoid LOS. So you're constantly positioning yourself to make sure you are avoiding line of sight from Shriekwing, while also watching your feet to avoid getting hit by those things. And then once it's over, they go away. But the blood doesn't. So yeah, we have to deal with this for the rest of the fight. Oh yeah, let's fight him right on, or I'm sorry, let's fight her right on top. I'm gonna battle res the other tank. Because nobody else noticed that. That's what you save your battle res is for. You save them for your tank or your really good healer, but usually tank always has the priority. Because in a raid and environment like this where these days, because there are so many tank swap mechanics, you have to make sure both tanks are up. Because otherwise, it's pretty much a wipe. Okay, can we stop fighting Shriekwing over the Sanguine? But there's so much of it on the ground, I guess it doesn't matter. Okay, can we, like, bring her over here? Like, seriously, I'm tempted to just taunt Shriekwing this way and be like, yo, over here. Over here. Bring Shriekwing over here. So it's easier to be able to fight her, because there's not enough on the ground over there, see? But no, let's bring her over to the Sanguine. So yeah, I knew I was gonna die there, but I was kind of okay with doing that just to try and make a point to the group there. To be able to be like, hey, look at all this area without blood on the floor. Let's fight her over here. So yeah, sometimes Shriekwing will have a tendency to go this direction first during this phase. So going over to that side of the room is not a bad idea.
Find shelter.
So I will admit, I have had some issues with this particular mechanic in the past, because the way these things bounce, sometimes you kind of like either lose track or you're moving a certain way, and then all of a sudden, oh look, another one came out, from an angle I didn't see, and it hits me, and then you get, I think it's a stun. You get stunned for a couple seconds, and then you get hit by that echolocation mechanic and leave Sanguine on the floor. So you can see, the more you get hit, the more this is going to fill up. So the idea is that you definitely want to make sure that you are watching where you're stepping.
After all my teachings, Renethor, still you reach beyond your station. Tisk, tisk, tisk. Such disappointment.
Oh, but you taught me well enough to dispatch so many of your underlings, Master.
True, you left considerable detritus in your wake. If you're so fond of wreckage, my lumbering friend here will happily oblige.
Who making this ruckus? Nobody disturb Master.
No, see that they do not.
So he enters the mirror, and Sludge Fist breaks it. Oh, this fight. Whoa! They immediately pulled him, but they were too close. Okay, I can already tell this is probably going to be a wipe.
Watch your step.
Oh, LFR. It's so entertaining sometimes. So, Sludge Fist. Yeah, it's a wipe. Because we already have 2 of the pillars down because they didn't know where to tank him. So I'm just gonna sit here and die.
Don't wait.
If I can, but even if I don't, trust me, we will die. Because we don't have enough pillars now.
3, 2, 1.
Stay away from lions.
Stopping time.
I'm just gonna watch this, just see how it goes.
So happy.
If we still somehow beat him... I mean, look at this. Yeah. That's why.
Harder than hell.
Oh, okay. Now that that's out of the way, let me talk a bit about this. Sludgefist was born in the muddy foundation beneath Castle Nathria, and now wanders the halls as he awaits orders from Sire Denathrius. Why didn't they give us the guy to repair our stuff? His massive footsteps reverberate throughout the castle, announcing his arrival from several rooms away. This is the next variation of what is known as a patchwork fight, a DPS check. This fight essentially has to take no longer than 5 minutes or so because of the way it works. You notice how we all took tons of damage and wiped there after he hit the wall? That's basically the time limit you have. We have to now use these 4 pillars in order to be able to have him run into them, because then he's going to get a debuff on himself where he takes extra damage and it won't wipe us out. So the idea here is that you want to tank him over there, and then the tanks will get a fixation after he does the 2 big stomps. By the way, there's a number of other things here, like the chains, which can be on both a melee and a range, which complicates matters. If you wander too far apart and the chains break, you instantly die, no matter what. You have to have the tank make sure that if he gets the fixate, to direct him into one of the pillars. Also take him away so that when he does the stomp, it doesn't destroy the other pillars. Because if you destroy a pillar, it's basically a wipe. Before you can have him destroy it before he runs into it. But when he runs into the pillar, that's when you pop your cooldowns, because he then takes an extra 100% damage. So you have to try and really pour as much damage into him during those little portions of time. Otherwise, if you get to the part where there's no more pillars and he runs into the wall, it's essentially going to be a wipe unless you are just really close to the end of his health and you're able to just okay, let's pour everything we got. That's when that's when you usually try and lust and use all your cooldowns. Yeah, this is definitely what is, like I said, considered a DPS check fight. You have to have the damage to pull this off within a small amount of time. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to finish it off. And again, this is also a weird timing thing. Also, usually people will be grouped up on the sides here. Okay, I think the tanks now know what to do.
Watch your step.
Okay, there's the rubble. Look out. Also, this is a rough fight to tank. You know why? Because there isn't a tank swapping mechanic. He just hits like a truck. There's a reason we have that term, hits like a truck. Because this guy has a mechanic where he will do a hit mechanic where
2, 1.
he hits the main tank and there has to be someone else within 5 yards. Otherwise, he hits them twice and he hits for a ton of damage every time. Alright, so he hits the pillar. So now he has a debuff on him. Destructive impact, where now damage taken is increased. It's a small amount of time we gotta do this. But if you time your cooldowns right, this is definitely the time to be able to pull this off. Also, you have to avoid the rubble on the ground because of the damage it does. So.
Watch your step.
No, no. He's too close. He's going to destroy the pillar. Yep. Okay, so that's one less pillar we have to be able to use against him. This is something I learned the hard way when I was trying to off-tank this in normal with my guild. I have yet to get the chain mechanic. Is the chain mechanic even here in LFR?
3, 2, 1.
Stay away from light.
Okay, yeah, we've lost all the pillars. It's a wipe. Oh, this is gonna be fun in LFR. I say fun jokingly. It's a little entertaining at times, but at times it can also get very frustrating. What's even worse is that there's no dredger here to be able to repair your gear. So you can't repair after each of these.
You wish to test me? Who dares you to...
Yeah, Shriekwing we one-shot. Sludge Fist was a wall for a lot of people for quite some time. When I was checking out the World First race, Sludge Fist was a wall for a ton of the guilds who were trying to do the World First. It took Limit, like... I know it was over 200 pulls. I don't think they got to 300 pulls and wipes before they were finally able to take him down. But I just remember watching it going, oh my gosh, this is such a rough fight because of the DPS required. And like I was saying, alright, so there's a mechanic here. This is a mechanic, Giant Fist. This is the tank mechanic that I was struggling with because at times it just felt like I wasn't geared enough to take the damage. But I think other tanks are more capable of handling this mechanic than others. His melee attack damage carries through to the next closest player within 5 yards. If no player is found within the primary target, it is struck twice. So, and keep in mind, this hits for a ton of damage. So, in order to do this, the tank mechanic here is that both tanks have to literally be right on top of each other. So, as the off-tank, my job was to literally stay with the main tank wherever he went. Because anytime he took a hit, if I was staying next to him, I also helped take some of the damage. Otherwise, he would get hit twice for that, for double that damage. So you have to constantly be watching where your main tank is and following him wherever he goes. And of course, also when he does the big stomp, make sure that you get out of there. Now, the tanks don't have to worry about the chain mechanic. The chain mechanic is, ignored by the tanks. It only targets, really, the DPS and the healers. At least I think it targets the healers. I think so. The fun part, to me, I thought, was the idea, what if a Demon Hunter, for example, gets paired up with, a slow caster? Like maybe a Warlock or a Priest, but then again, some of these other classes do have mobility abilities. Like, if they get paired up with a Mage, well, the Mage has Blink. But the Mage could blink too far and break the chain and kill them both. So, it's a little, what's the term? Dangerous to do something like that. Oh, never mind. We're pulling.
5, 4, 3, 2.
Hopefully they now know what to do.
AoE incoming.
You cannot hide from me.
I'm gonna go ahead and pop that, but I'm gonna go ahead and wait on some of the other cooldowns until,
Watch your step.
he runs into the pillars. Yeah, also if you get hit by that stomp, it can either kill you or get you very close to dying. Alright, so now... Oh, rubble.
Stay away from lions.
Tank, get behind a pillar. Yeah, see, now this is where we pop everything! Okay, I should probably not be standing there.
Watch your step.
That was my own fault. I gotta stand behind the boss. Tell you what, even if you use some of your cooldowns to mitigate that damage as a tank, like Icebound Fortitude and such, he still hits like a truck. Like I said, there's a reason we have that term in this game.
2, 1.
Because the thing about these kind of what are called patchwork fights, people remember patchwork as requiring a lot of damage, but what people don't remember was that he also put out a lot of damage. So you had to, the tanks had to, mitigate and tank a lot of damage, and the healers had to also be really working hard at keeping them alive because they were taking so much damage. So it wasn't just a DPS check, it was also a, I guess you could call it a healing check, and probably also a damage mitigation check. A gear check for the tanks, that they had enough gear and mitigation to be able to kind of deal with the amount of damage that Patchwork was putting out. And the same thing applies here. We've lost all 4 pillars already. Oh wait, no, never mind. We're just so far away from the pillars. Are the tanks gonna have enough time? I'm looking at this, I'm like, he's way over there. How are the tanks gonna get over here?
3, 2.
I have to watch this. I gotta watch what the tanks do, because they're 2 paladins. They're not demon hunters and such. Or monks.
Time.
Okay, so he used his ability there. Okay, good, good, good. Alright, so now we gotta make sure... No, tank him away from the pillar. Get him away from the pillar. Don't let him stomp it and destroy it. Oh, he's gonna destroy it. Yep. Nope, doesn't matter. Both tanks are down. No more pillars. 11%? No, we don't have what we need to finish this off. Look, he charges all the way to the other side. And then we get this. Which, yeah, that's a wipe.
Let me guess. You got it over your head?
So yeah, some people are here just getting their legendary memories because they had to. Some of them had to wait till LFR to try and get this, because for one reason or another, you know, some people are just not able to get into normal, regular groups to do this. So they have to resort to LFR. And once this becomes, you know, available and becomes more, you know, once people start working on alts, it'll be an easy way for them to get memories on alts, you know, as opposed to having to do the whole thing, especially if you're not geared enough. Well, a couple of people left. I'm not surprised. That wasn't a bad pull. We were doing well until we let the Stomp destroy this final pillar here. If we had kept that pillar up, we could have been able to pull that off. But because we let him destroy the final pillar before... we lost a second tank. Yeah, no. Not ready. Whoops. Well, pop that cooldown. Gonna go ahead and share that. Just so the tank understands what's going on here. Yeah. So you just stay... So just stay on top of other tank, and if you get fixate, get behind... Yeah, there were 2 prop pallies before.
Five. Four,
Yeah, go heals, Demon Hunter.
one.
One. Gonna flatten your
Watch your step.
Oh, great. The other tank is already dead.
Stay away from lions.
time.
There you go. Now!
So
I'm gonna wait till the next pillar to pop Army the Dead.
Watch your step.
But yeah, I have to stand behind him because otherwise I will get hit by the fist ability and I would take a ton of damage. So you have to make sure that only the tanks are the ones being hit. Everyone else stands behind him.
Stay away from lions.
Time!
Alright, 45%, and we have 2 pillars down. Alright, we are doing much better this time around. Oh, rubble, rubble. So now I can't stand there, otherwise I'm going to take lots of damage. These are the times I wish I was arranged.
Stay away from lions.
So it's always after 2 stomps that he then does the hateful gaze. Alright, 23%. Problem is the number of people are already dead. And I wonder how many of them are, that is because of the chain mechanic. Alright. Good, good, good. I would tank him over here. I'd be like, yo, over here. Doesn't have to be right here. It could be over there in the corner. Oh gosh, I'm slowed! Ah, oh boy.
Stay away from lions.
I'm so used to standing behind that. Boom, there we go. Everything! See, this is when we should have popped Lust. Right here. But we got him. Okay.
We must continue our pursuit, mortals. Fortunately, this mirror does not seem beyond repair. Be warned. Denathrius's most loyal guardians still stand between us and our quarry.
The generals. Now, fortunately, we'll be able to actually mount up here, so we'll be able to actually repair.
I have many wares.
So the upcoming fight is the Stone Legion Generals. The ancient Stoneborn generals, Karl and Grashal, have hounded the Prince Renathal's rebellion at every turn. Once they were General Draven's apprentice and mentor.
All my strength to hold back their onslaught.
Call! Grashal! Do not be blinded by misplaced loyalty! The body of Nathria is what will destroy Revendreth!
You are a disgrace to our kind, Draven! You will not serve! You will Stoneborn! Strike down these usurpers!
Such a blind follower. Now their strength, strategy, and soldiers have been unleashed against him, and any who would defy the Sire's will. So, this upcoming boss fight. Also, apparently Renathal got marked. But we are going to have... He's going to be involved in this fight a bit. So this is going to be a few different phase fight. So we're going to be fighting Call first, then we're going to be fighting Grishal, and then we're going to be fighting them both. And they both have to die at the same time. There's a few different mechanics in this, a number of which involve bleeding, where we get bleeds applied to us, and then we're going to be having something, cast on us, which is going to crystallize, and people who have bleeds are supposed to stand in the crystallize to get rid of the bleeds, but then a meteor is going to come down on that who got crystallized, and the rest of the group is going to have to stand in it to absorb the damage of that, otherwise that person's probably going to die. So, that's one of the main mechanics. Another is, like, a blade will come out. I got stunned and it's attacking me! Ah! Why did you... I'm like, why did we lose now? Yeah, I do. I don't have to type this all out. Alright. Let me see here.
Bjorn of the Black Storm, honor me now with your presence.
So each of those are supposed to be for the tanks. Yeah, that's one of the other ones that Grishal will do a big, smash, knocking, us away and inflicting 17,000 damage. Yeah, and it also does increase damage for every Stone Fist for 40 seconds, so it's stacked. So that's when you gotta make sure that you, yeah. Yes. Yes, you do have to soak. Good question. That Wicked Blade is what applies this.
5,
4, 3, 2, 1.
This will be interesting. But hey, sometimes the best way to learn is to actually, just do it and see it in action. I will say, though, we are very much melting Call here.
My blade will find you!
But then again, there's going to be a point here where she is going to become invulnerable, and we have to take care of the ad that spawns.
Will strike from the sky! Champions! I will clear the skies!
Bring me.
Draven's like, I got this! I can't, because I'm not one of the instant leaders here.
You cannot run!
Yeah, we also have to grab those red orbs and take them over to Renathal. Because you'll notice Call is not taking any damage right now. Not really. Barely any, because of the shield that goes up when the Goliath is out. So that's why you have to hard focus the Goliath. Yeah, also apparently Draven's just taking care of all those Storm Legion commandos.
You cannot escape my wrath!
Okay, I popped it a little early.
3, 2, 1! Drag you into the ground! Though I may fly a little stiff in the morning.
I didn't even realize that was being cast on me until it was too late. So yeah, after all the interactions and, you know, talking and, you know, from between Grishal, Call, and Draven, we now finally get to deal with these two. After all the talk they've been throwing at Draven...
I will break you! Champions, I will clear the skies!
Okay, so there's the Goliath, so now we have to focus that one. There's the Crystallize. Oh, it doesn't do the Meteor thing. Okay, so that they took that out of LFR. Okay. It's always interesting seeing what they take out of the fight in LFR compared to how I usually see it in either normal or heroic. For the record, I have not done this fight yet on heroic. I've only done like the first 4 bosses on heroic.
3, 2, 1.
Yeah, hardened stone form, so he takes a whole lot of reduced damage.
3, 2.
I just realized there's a red orb that no one's grabbed. Okay. I'll go grab that myself. Here, Renethal.
3, 4, 3, 2, there is no 1.
Alright, so now we fight both Call and Grishal. Again, we have to kill them at the same time.
You into the ground! Yes, my prince. I am bruised, but not broken. 4, 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1.
Alright, I'm gonna work on Grishal because they are melting Call.
2, 1. Drag you into the ground! 2, 1. 4, 3, 2, 1. 4, 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1.
Watch your step.
4, 3, 2.
Oh yeah, those popping up are nasty as well.
Watch your step.
Okay.
Cause my stone to the greatest honor. It sickens me to see our loyalty twisted by the one we once served.
The Stoneborn were not the only ones manipulated and deceived, my friend. I dare say even the Arbiter herself has been made a pawn.
Okay, yeah. The other RP that happens right after this is part of us opening this little doorway to go to Denathrius, because he's on the other side of the wall. So yeah, that's going to have to wait until the final wing for LFR and Nathria, when we will face Sire Denathrius himself. And boy, what an awesome, fun fight that is. I've already gotten a couple kills on him in normal, so I'll have some experience going into that fight when we do it in LFR, which I'll be curious to see what they change about that in LFR, since clearly a couple of the fights were a little different in LFR compared to normal. The fact that the crystallize mechanic didn't have the meteor one come down afterwards is kind of telling, so yeah, I'm not surprised by this, considering that, well, there were a couple times I just kind of stopped because I was like, okay, I was just kind of paying attention to see whether or not they're going to do certain mechanics right. Yeah. So, again, this is a weird order for how they're doing it in LFR. It kind of makes sense in terms of the area that you're in. But yeah, Shriekwing is technically the first fight, and then after you do the other bosses in the other two areas, then you come back to that main room and face Sludge Fist in order to make your way here to face the generals. And so now that we've taken the generals down, we have now killed Khal and Grishal. They are now dead. Now we get to face Denathrius. So you can see how, like, if you were paying attention to what was going on in the story in Revendreth, how it was like, you know, they were really giving attention and building up characters like General Khal, since she was also a boss in the Sanguine Depths dungeon, but we didn't finish her off. We just kind of chased her off, where now we have actually finished her off. And so now, Draven, you could probably say would be the, you know, essentially the next of the more powerful Stoneborn left, now that we have dealt with permanently with Khal and Grishal. But we will, of course, do a little bit more discussion about the fallout of all this when we do Wing 4, with the finale of LFR Castle Nathria against Sire Denathrius. Stay tuned.